In this video, I want to talk about task management and your approach to your tasks and how to work with task management software. So what I've done is I've put together a simple template using a really lovely tool called Notion, and I'll put the link below to both the template I've created and to Notion itself, so you can look into it for yourself. And you don't have to use Notion. You can certainly recreate this in other systems as well. I just did it in Notion because it was a very fast way to do it, and I was quite familiar with it. So what I've done here is I really just captured a bunch of tasks in a table and added some information. When I open a task, I can add things like due date, the priority level, low, medium, high, which project is it? Is it financial? Is it a client project? Is it admin, marketing, professional development? Who is it assigned to? Some tags, and I've thrown in 3 tags: automate, delegate, and out of office, and I'll talk about what I'm using tags for in a moment. And I created a field for focus. So what this is this is an easy task to do, something with really light, shallow, simple focus, or do I need this to be really deep focus where I need to be fully there, or is it kind of a mid-range? Instructions, this is a link if I want to put in a video, or like telling people how to do something, or if I have a process document already set up and how to the step-by-step and how to do a task, a checklist, then I would put the link there to the document of the video. And the status just tells me in my work process, is this been assigned? Am I working on it? Is it next up? Is it completed? Or is it something I want to put off till the future? It's also got an area down here for comments, and of course a bunch of area down here for notes. So it's a lovely way to be able to work with these. Now, when you at first glance looking at this list, it's not all that useful. I have sorted it by due date. I hit this simple sort button over here, and you can see I've sorted first by due date, then by priority level. So it will show the things that are coming up when they're due, and then within that, it would show them in order. So if I had 10 things to do in July 24th, it would show the high items first, then medium, then low. So it's a fairly useful way to look at it. It's got a lot here, but this is going to get huge over time. You might have 100 or 1,000 different tasks, and sometimes it can be very overwhelming to look at all these tasks and have them just sitting there staring at you. Oh no, I've got all these 1,000 tasks that aren't finished, and how am I ever going to get to them? So to get around this, there's a very useful tool here called views, and you see I'm currently in a main view. So what other views do is it lets you sort this information in a different way. So I'm going to go to a project view. So project view is the same view, shows all of the same tasks, but now I've sorted them by project. So here's all the admin ones together, the client ones together, the financial ones together, and the marketing ones together. So a little bit more useful if I want to set a block of time aside and say I want to work on marketing this afternoon. So then I would see just, I could see the marketing tasks all pulled together there. But it's still going to have all the tasks, so it's still a little busy. So I went a step further and I said, okay, what about if I just did an admin view? Well, now it's only got the 3 admin views. Once again, I did sort it, or you can also sort it by adding a due date, priority, those kinds of things. But right now I'm just seeing the admin, which is really clean, very easy. I only have to see those. Similarly, if I have some client work, I can just see the client work. Or if I want to work on marketing, I can see just all the marketing or all the finance, etc. And once again, I can sort that by, say, priority. Let's go, priority, ascending, and then it will, let's go sort, priority, descending, there we go. And it will then show, low, medium, high. So again, a really great way to look at it. So I can open up my marketing and say, what are my top 3 tasks in marketing I have to work on? And the highest priority ones up top. I can also sort it by due date. So if there's something due, I can see all the due dates as well. So this kind of view approach is really powerful for tasks, because instead of seeing all 1,000 tasks, you can drill down to the ones that are important for the block of time you're working on right now. So some other useful views, I can see just the tasks assigned to me, which, of all my tasks, if I'm delegating a lot, it's awesome to just see my tasks. So when it's time for me to actually do any work instead of delegating, then I can say, oh, I've only got 2 tasks. The other 10 or 12 were all to be delegated. So that really helps a lot. You can also sort that by your team members. So if you had your virtual assistant or your programmer, you can say, well, what task did I give the programmer? You can call up all the programmer tasks and see what they're working on. Another useful one is low energy. So what I did was I created a tag, or sorry, a focus area here, which would make it really easy, like I could have just all this low focus in the one view. So what I do is I sort my tasks according to how much brain power they're going to need. Are they going to need that deep focus, that really light focus? What are they going to need? Some simple, medium, and deep focus. So I save my deep focus tasks for first thing in the morning when I'm at my best and brightest, when my brain's still working well. In the afternoon, late, 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm low energy. I don't have a lot left. So what I do is I then call up these simple tasks that I can work on, ones that are easy for me, and then I just go ahead and work on those. So I'm still doing useful work. Some of them are even high priority. Some of them have due dates. So it's not that the work isn't useful. It's very useful, but I just want to save those simple tasks. So as an example, replying to email for the most part is pretty simple. Most of your simple emails, other than your major client blow up or something, but most of them are pretty simple. So saving them till later in the afternoon when your brain power is at its lowest makes sense to work on the simple tasks then. So that's a really key one. If you can do that, check and see if your system allows tagging or allows you to set up a field where you can choose your energy levels. Unassigned just shows me all the tasks that aren't assigned to anybody, which means nobody's working on these. This isn't good. So I can immediately then just pull from my list, start assigning those out to people, and then I'm able to make sure everything has an assignment. Process view. So if many of you might be familiar with a Kanban view. So it's really just looking at your tasks as cards, and then you can drag them to the next list. This is future, nothing to be worked on right now. These are ones that we haven't given a status to yet. These are ones that are assigned. These are ones I'm working on. These are the ones that are next up, and these are completed. So this is how you would, you could drag your tasks from one to the other to see where the processes are. And you don't have to use these columns or these categories for this. Use a workflow that makes sense for you personally or for your organization. Priority, if I can only be in the office for a certain amount of time, I only want to see the high priority. I can see just all my high priority. I've only got maybe an hour in the office today. What are the 2 highest priority items? Here they are. So that's a great way to just see your highest priority items quickly. Out of office, I have a tag for out of office, and this is where I'm going to run errands when I'm out, and they can be multiple different kinds of projects. But because it makes sense to batch all those together and do them all at once, rather than going out of your office every day for the next 3 days to do tasks, go out of the office for an hour, do all 3 tasks, you're done. That way you don't have to leave the office again. I also set up tags for automating, and this is when I see a task and I go, I think this task should be automated. So what I do is I tag it for automation. I still do it if it's one that's got to be done, especially or has a due date or has a high priority. But I want to tag it for automation for future. Then when I talk to my programmer or my IT people or some of my people who are really good at automating processes, I'm going to say, hey, here's a list of things I'd like to automate. Can you look these over and let's get some of these automated. And delegate. Sometimes I tag tasks that I'm currently doing that I think should be delegated, even though I don't have anybody to delegate to yet. So I tag those delegated, and then I can say, okay, I want someone to find me a virtual assistant. So I might have my office manager look for a virtual assistant, look for a graphic designer for client, a client, review, follow up on our accounts receivable. This is all stuff that can be done by other people, doesn't have to be done by me. So that's my approach. So I went from my main view that kind of just showed everything and a bit mixed up, although I was sorting it. But I was trying to show how drilling down with the views makes it a lot less complicated and shows you just the tasks that are important to you now, or helps you find the tasks that fit your current level of focus or energy, or you can find just all the high priority, just the ones that need to be delegated, the ones that aren't assigned yet, ones that would be good to automate or delegate. So this is a lot to pack in one simple little table. And you see there's only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's only 9 fields there. So it's not that complex of a table to do. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, please hit thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And please share this on social media. It really helps me get the word out. If you'd like more help of any sort, please visit captaintime.com and I'd be happy to help.